everyone, welcome to our June stretch class. It's going to take about 20 minutes or so. It needs to be done after you've warmed up, so ideally after a workout or a good walk, a run, that type of thing, okay? So what you'll need today is an overball or a cushion, just from the sofa, just for underneath your head and between the knees, and a band or a strap, a dressing gown, belt, something of that nature. Okay, well, so we're going to be using a chair as well. If you haven't got a chair handy, you could have a piece of furniture there, just at a similar height to your hip will be fine. Okay, so let's stand away from the back of the chair. We're going into our L-shaped stretch. Okay, so feet underneath your hips, feet to hip width, and then hands just flat on the surface of the edge of the chair or the furniture, and just drop your ears in between the upper arms. And so we're now getting a hamstring stretch and a back stretch. So if you've got very tight hamstrings, you could do this with bent legs. You can bend the legs slightly and just concentrate more across the back and getting that stretch across the shoulders. So press the bottom in, away from the back of the chair, and really reach those fingertips forward. So we're going to hold the stretches for about 30 seconds. So we've already done about halfway. So really reach the fingertips. Open out the backs of the legs if you've got straight legs, and really lengthen the fingertips forward, straighten the arms. Just take another couple of breaths here. Okay, so just bend the legs, just soften the knees a little bit, and we're just going to tuck the tailbone like you're doing a cat. Okay, just around the back, and then go into an extension. So you're dropping your chest towards the floor. That's it, getting that opening across the armpits. That's it, and then flex the back as much as you can, tucking the tailbone. Good, dropping the chin a little. That's it, and then send that tailbone up to the ceiling, chest towards the floor, opening through the armpits. We'll do one more of these, tucking under, scoop the tummy. Good. Draw the chest towards the floor, open through the armpits. Lovely, good, and come up. Lovely, just step forward, hands off the chair. Lovely, so let's go into a calf stretch, okay? So you want to step back with one foot, okay, bend the front leg forward. So front leg is bent, back leg is straight. You want your second toe on the back foot to be in line with your heel. So both toes are pointing forward. So bend that front leg just until you feel that stretch in the calf. Okay, and that back leg. Press the heel into the floor. That's it. I'm just going to turn so you can see me better in the side reach. Okay, good. Okay. Let's take a little side reach here first, and then we're just going to move the heel to get a little bit more stretch in a different place. So bringing one arm up into that side stretch. That's it, good. Breathe. Hold that stretch. Really reach the fingertips away from the hips. Good. Okay, just come out of that a little. Keep reaching up. We'll do two more. So we go over. You can have your hand on your hips here, on your thigh rather, just to support you. Your feet do need to be hip width or a little bit wider just to give you that balance. That's it, really reach out of those fingertips. And then back to the centres, keep reaching. Okay, one more on this side. So really try to breathe into these ribs and bring the arm down. Okay, stay there, bend that front leg a little bit more. Now, with the back heel, I want you to just turn it inwards slightly, just very slightly, and take a stretch. You should feel that in a slightly different place on that calf muscle. Bend that front leg more. Take a couple of breaths. Okay, bring the heel back to the centre. Now we're moving it outwards slightly, just slightly. That's it. Good. That's it. Bend in onto that front leg. So a bit of weight through that front leg. Press the heel into the floor on that back foot. Good. Bring that heel back to the centre and come out of that stretch. Lovely. So we're going to change sides. You could do this holding on to something as well if you need to, or against the wall. Okay, so bend the front leg, bit of space between the feet, toes pointing forward. Okay, good. Bend that front leg, just to increase the stretch. Okay, lovely. I'm just turning so you can see me. I'm going to take my arm up and go into my side stretch on this side. So really reach up with that arm. Breathe into that stretch. Good, bring the arm back to the centre. Okay, we're going again. So over, getting that lovely opening in the ribs, side of the rib cage. Good, back to the centre. One more. Bend that front leg more if you need a bit more stretch in that calf. Now it's releasing. Lovely, and bring the arm down. Okay, now for the heel. So heel's in the centre at the moment. Let's bring the heel inwards slightly. Okay, bend into that front leg, stretch, press the back of the heel into the floor. Good. Now move the heel outwards. That's it. Couple more breaths here. Pressing that back heel down into the floor. Good. And come out of that stretch. Oh, lovely. Just give those legs a little shake. Lovely. Okay. Let's do an Achilles stretch now. So we want one foot forward, the other foot just slightly behind the front foot. The legs are still hip width, but you've got your back toe in line with your back heel. So you want to bend both legs, and you want to keep your body upright, so you don't want to lean forward. Okay, so the weight's going down through the back foot. So really I've not got a lot of weight onto that front foot, it's just placed in front. Okay, and then I'm just going to come forward slightly. So again, if you've got the chair or the wall here, you can just reach forward just to support you. Okay, so you should feel maybe a stretch around the ankle on that back foot, or the back of the heel and the calf, the Achilles. Okay, good. Come out of that stretch. Okay, change feet. So foot just directly behind the front foot, toes in line with the back heel. That's it, bend the legs. That's it, weight through the back foot and then just lean forward. Slightly, you've got to keep that back heel on the floor. I'm definitely feeling more stretch on this side. So it just depends whether you're tight in these Achilles, how much you'll feel. Just take a few breaths. That's it, lovely. Couple more breaths. Good, and come out of that stretch. Lovely. Okay, let's take a quad stretch, standing quad stretch. So grab hold of your foot. You don't have to hold on, you can just balance if you want to. You've got that chair there if you need it. So bringing the knee underneath the hip. That's it, holding onto that back foot. Oops. That's it, good. Lost my balance there. Good. Draw, really open through the hip. Draw the knee back. That's it. Press the top of your foot into your hand. And the leg just draws back a little. Squeeze the buttocks. Good, let's change sides. Okay, so holding onto that back foot. Trying to draw that knee underneath the hip. Take a few breaths here. Press the top of the foot into the hand. Good, lovely. And bring that leg down. Lovely, into a pec stretch. So, I'd like you to take your hands behind your back. So come away from the chair, because we're going to take a hinge forward. Feet hip width. I'm going to take my arms up, and as I do, I'm going to bend forward like I'm doing a roll down. Okay, reach the arms up. Good, just draw the chest towards the thighs. Send your hands right up towards the ceiling. Good, and restack. I'm just going to take the hands forward, clasp them together, press the palms up to the ceiling. Get a lovely stretch in the waist. Good, and release the hands. Lovely. And we're going to come down onto our back now. Okay, Suzanne's going to join me. So I'm going to move my chair. Okay, so I've got my space here. I've got my oval ball handy and my band. That's it. I'm going to come onto the floor. Come onto your mat. We're just going to lay on our back and just hug the knees into our chest. Just to open out that lower back. That's it. Just draw the knees right in, and then place the hands on the kneecaps, and just to release the hips, we're going to circle the knees around. That's it, lovely. Good. Okay, hip flexor stretch. So bend your left leg in, lengthen your other leg along the floor. So you want to think about drawing the back of the thigh on the straight leg down into the floor, so you get this opening in the hip. Now, let's just do a few little hamstring stretches if we can, holding the back of the thigh. So you might need to, at this stage, put some height under the head, just so you can reach the back of that thigh. Okay, so clasp the hands behind the thigh, lengthen the leg to the ceiling. Okay, let's just do 3 of these. And bend, straighten that leg, do a bit of flexing and pointing. That's it, really press the heel away as you flex, flatten the front of the ankle as you point. Okay, good. Now take the band and wrap it around that foot, bottom of that foot. You might want to reduce the height under your head. Okay, so place the band around the bottom of the foot, and let's take a stretch here. So at this stage, if you feel for your lower back and it feels a bit more comfortable to bend that other leg, you can. Okay. So little drawing in of that leg with the out breath. Good. Okay. So if you've got this leg bent, I want you to straighten it along the floor. Okay. Draw this leg in. Use the band to draw that leg in towards you. Let's bring that leg slightly across the line of the body. That's it. So it's more importantly, it's drawing in towards you, and it's only going slightly across the body. Okay, so you feel that sort of nervy sciatic stretch. And just take a few breaths. Keep drawing that leg in with the band, so you might need to hold a bit closer towards the foot. Okay, now we're going to let that leg drop outwards. So it goes out to the side. So we want to try and keep the back of our pelvis still and heavy on the floor. So what we don't want to do is roll. So that helps by drawing the back of this thigh on this long leg down towards the floor as we take that leg out. Now you want to keep drawing that leg in towards you again in the band. And we're just taking an inner thigh stretch here. It's nice and heavy across the backs of the shoulders. Okay, so we're going to just do that once more, taking the leg across. That's it, keep drawing it in. Good, and out to the side. So just, you could put your hand on that pelvis, just make sure it's not rolling and you're not lifting the back of your pelvis or your bottom off the floor. Just try and relax your buttocks here as well, because they tend to tense. We're really trying to release that leg. Good, and bring it back up. Good. Remove the band, pop it to one side, hip flexor stretch on this side. So right leg, bend it in, lengthen your other leg along the floor. So really draw that thigh bone right in towards you. As you draw the back of the thigh on the long leg down to the floor. So if you need to put height under your head, you could do this at this point. Hold the back of the thigh. Okay, see if you're going to lengthen that leg up to the ceiling. Good, so you can probably feel that really good stretch in the back of the hamstring. Straighten that leg again. And keep the other leg bent at this stage if you feel that's easier. That's it, and then a little bit of flex and point. Good. Okay, bend that leg in. Take the band, place it around the right foot. Okay, lengthen that leg to the ceiling. The other leg has to be straight. Okay, draw it in. Good, send that leg across the line of the body slightly. That's it, keep drawing it in, using the band. Now let's let that leg drop outwards. So keep that pelvis nice and stable. Draw the back of the thigh down to help keep the pelvis stable on that long leg on the floor. Relax the buttocks. Okay, let's bring that leg across one more time. Take a couple of breaths here. You feel that nervy stretch down that leg. And then let's take it out to the side again. Good. Okay, bring the leg back in. Lovely. Take the band away, pop it to one side. Let's bring the feet together, the soles of the feet together. Okay, draw your heels in as close towards your groin as you can. Okay, I want you to cross your arms, your forearms like that, and then just take them over above your head. Okay, so like a Cossack, where we have our forearms just sitting on top of each other, and we reach the arms overhead, let the knees just drop outwards. So nice wide elbows. And then extend the arms, so they're in a little V shape above the head. Reach the arms away. That's it, lengthen the fingertips. Stretch the arms. And then bring the arms back and bring the knees back in. Okay, good. And just hug the knees into the chest. roll up into sitting. Okay, so we're going to come onto our knees for a psoas stretch. Okay, so let's take the left foot forward. Okay, and then we're going into that psoas stretch, getting that stretch the back of that hip. So you want to just check that your toes are slightly in front of your knee here. Okay, so let's go into a little side reach. So I'm just going to turn just so you can see me from this angle. Okay, so take one arm up. That's it, and we go into our side bend. That's it, keeping that chest lifted. Good, let's stay in this stretch for a few breaths if you can. Now if you feel problems with knees, you could put a cushion under the knee, a towel, something just to give you a bit of padding under the knee. Okay, bring the arm back. Okay, so we now go from here, we're going to tuck the back toes, hands down on the floor. I'm just on my knuckles here, find that easier. Okay, bend straight in the back leg. Okay, you want to try and bring this front knee sort of beside your chest, so it's not directly under your chest. Okay, drop that back knee, untuck the toes, let's go back into a hamstring stretch. So again, if you find it hard to reach the floor, you could probably use a cushion or something just to give you a bit of height here if you can't quite reach the floor. Okay, you can also go straight back and drop your bottom towards your heels if your knees are okay. I'm just going to walk my hands forward. Take that hamstring stretch here. Okay, lovely, and up. So, before we do the other side, let's do a little downward dog. So, onto 4-point kneeling, tuck the toes. Okay, hands are quite wide, just wider than shoulder width. Let's send that bottom up to the ceiling. Send your chest towards your toes. Okay, your heels towards the floor. Okay, really take that bottom right up to the ceiling. Let's come right onto the tiptoes, stretch the toes. And then lower the heels to the floor. That's it, right into tiptoes again, stretching through the toes. That's it, lowering the heels. Good, let's come up and walk through the feet. So drop one heel to the floor as you bend the other leg forward. You're stretching through those toe joints at the same time. Good, one more. Good, right up onto tiptoes. Draw the heels down. And then back to 4-point kneeling. Okay, we come up to kneeling, we send the right leg forward. Okay, making sure that those toes are slightly in front of the knee, keeping the chest lifted. That's it. Just going to move back a little bit. Oops. That's good. Okay, into that side stretch. Okay, arm comes up, opposite arm to leg forward, and go into that side stretch. Lovely. Very nice. Couple more breaths here. Good, and bring the arm back over. Take the hands either side of the front foot onto the floor. Tuck your back toe, straighten your back leg. Move this knee out a little bit so it's more underneath your armpit rather than underneath your chest, and that'll stop you from going down into that stretch if the knee's in the way. Okay, drop the back knee, untuck the toes, go into your hamstring stretch. Okay, so you can go all the way down, bring your bottom all the way back if you feel able. That's it, breathe into the stretch. Good, and come back up. Let's just sit back into our rest position. So let's bring the feet together, the knees wide. Okay, just take the hands, arms forward. So bring the hands about as wide as the mat, sort of just wider than shoulder width. Send your bottom towards your heels and your chest towards the floor. That's it, really opening through the armpits. Walk those fingertips slightly forward a bit more. Good, and then we're going to walk the hands around to the right hand side. So walk the hands around. That's it, so you're sitting back towards your heels and you've got some space between the hands. Okay. Right, so you're getting a stretch down that left side in particular. So I want you to do a little rotation towards that left side, as if you're trying to draw your armpit towards the floor, a bit closer. That's it, so a little rotation, lifting the right side very slightly and opening through that left armpit, as if you're trying to draw it down towards the floor. Okay, good. Let's walk the hands back to the centre, take them over to the left side. Now reach those fingertips, walk those fingertips forward, so you're really straightening those arms as much as you can. And let's do that little rotation, drawing the right armpit towards the floor a little bit more. So you feel that stretch around that shoulder joint. Once it come out of that stretch and then do a little rotation again, trying to open that right armpit. Okay, bring the hands back to the centre, and then I just want you to bring your knees together and just bring your arms in and just come into a tight little ball here. Just rest your head on your hands or on the floor. If you feel that you can't get your head that low, you can always put the ball or the cushion there and just rest the head there. Take some nice deep breaths into the back and ribs. That's it. And restack. Okay, so we're just going to do some seated work. Just finish sitting. So we're just going to come down, bring the legs wide. Okay, good. Just take the hands down onto the floor. And just walk the fingers forward, take a stretch here. So just breathe, to get that inner thigh stretch. I'm feeling a stretch in my back as well. Good. And then walk your hands over to your left leg, so that both hands are either side of the left leg. Buttocks are heavy on the floor, so don't be tempted to lift the buttock on that right side. Walk the fingertips forward, so into the lower back stretch. Let's take a few breaths here. So as you breathe in, think about the breath going into to where it feels tight. So sort of try and expand that tightness with your in-breath and get that area opening. You might be able to walk your fingers a little bit further forward. Okay, let's walk the hands back through the centre. Over to the other leg, the right leg, hands either side. Buttocks are heavy. Walk those fingertips forward. Just take some nice deep breaths. So you try and expand the ribs. And then walk the hands back to the centre and come back up. Okay, now I'm going to just take your top of your arm onto the top of your thigh here. And bring this arm up. Okay, so you're in a side reach. And this hand is going to slide down towards the foot. And this upper hand and arm is sort of reflecting the bottom arm. And what I want to do with my chest, rather than looking down at the floor, I want to open my chest as if I've got this little light attached to my breastbone and shining it forward in the direction I'm looking in. Buttocks are heavy again. Really lengthen the arm. Good, and come back up. Good, well, let's do the other side. Upper arm onto the top of the leg. Okay, turn the chest to face forward. Slide the arms down towards the foot. If you can, keep both buttocks heavy. So really reach this arm. Press this left hip into the floor and buttock. Don't forget to breathe. Good, and back up. Lovely. We're going to do a glute stretch. Let's lay back down onto our back. So I forgot a glute stretch. Okay, so I want you may need some height under your head here so you can reach your feet. I want you to cross your legs, your thighs. Okay, like we're always being told not to, rather than put your foot. You can do this one if you can't cross the thighs. Okay, so Suzanne's going to demonstrate that one. I'm going to cross the thighs, I'm going to bring your knees right in, and I want you to reach around either side of the legs, grab hold of the feet. Okay, so, and I want you to draw your feet sort of apart and towards you. So it brings your knees and your thighs in towards your chest. Now you'll feel a glute stretch, a buttock stretch on just one side. That's it, breathe. Draw those feet round. That's it, and release. We'll do the same again, so cross the thighs. Okay, draw those thighs in towards you. Grab hold either side of those feet and then draw them apart and towards you. Like you're drawing them around your body. Right in towards you. That's it, just take a few breaths here. Now if you're in that glute stretch, you might want to just press this knee outwards. You can do that with your elbow as well. Good. Lovely. Okay, just come back up to sitting. And we'll just finish on a neck stretch. Okay, so if you can, sit cross legs. If you're not comfortable, sit in a long frog leg position. Okay, so let's take one hand onto the side of the head and just drop that ear to your shoulder. So with the weight of that hand, just drawing the head over to the shoulder. That's it, bring the head back. Good, let's swap hands. Draw that head over. Lovely. And let's just take a little tricep stretch. Let's reach behind us with our arms, as if you're trying to scratch a little itch in the middle of your back. So reach down behind you with that hand and draw your elbow over your shoulder. Now just watch your head alignment here, because sometimes the head drops forward. So try and bring that head nicely up on top of the spine. And then take that same arm outwards and then bring it across your body. And then just draw it in with the other arm towards you. So a nice straight arm, drawing it in towards your chest. So it gives a stretch in the shoulder and the upper arm. That's it. I'm going to reach back with this arm now, reaching down my back. Bring my elbow over my shoulder. And try and walk those fingertips down the centre of my spine. Bring the head nicely on top of the spine. Nice deep breaths again. Good. Arm out to the side. Bring it across the body. Draw it in. Nice deep breath. And release. Very good. Let's just roll the shoulders. And well done. Thank you everyone for joining me, or us. If you tell me to do that again, I'll kill myself.
Oh my God, it's not recording.
So at one point I went a bit wrong and I didn't. Yeah, I did, and then I don't know anyway, but you could edit it.